I'm Devorah Wallen, and I'd like to share my Tea for Two, my Torah thought, for 2 minutes, more or less. This week's Torah portion, Shemos, begins the book of Exodus, which opens up with the Jewish people coming down to Egypt and becoming enslaved. According to the well-known adage of the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Shner Zalman of Liadi, Medarf Leben mit der Zeit, we need to live with the times. This implies that we must find relevance in the messages found in the Torah readings of the week. Toward the beginning of the Parsha it says, Vayavdu Mitzrayim es b'nei Yisrael beforech. The Egyptians ruthlessly imposed harsh labor upon the Israelites. You may recognize the next verse from the Passover Haggadah, where we say, this moror, the bitter greens that we are eating, what is its purpose? To remind us that the Egyptians embittered the lives of our ancestors in Egypt, as it is stated, and they made their lives bitter with hard service in mortar and in brick, and all manner of service in the field, in all their service wherein they made them serve beforech, with crushing labor. Regarding this word, beforech, with crushing labor, the Rashbam says that the treatment of the Israelites was intended to break them mentally and physically. To further their strategy, the Midrash Yalkut Shimoni says, Perach is a construct of two words, peh and rach, mouth and soft. They sweet-talked the Israelites through manipulation. Like it says, Pharaoh took a basket and trowel. Who could see Pharaoh taking a basket and trowel and working with bricks and not also work? Israel immediately went quickly and applied all their strength along with him because they were strong and mighty. When it grew dark, he posted taskmasters over them. He said to them, reckon the number of bricks. They immediately arose and counted them. He said to them, this many you shall produce for me each and every day. He manipulated them with pressure, and then he held them to this impossible daily work standard. How might we apply these ideas in our daily life? Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, the Ramchal, notes that our Yetzer Hara, negative inclination, uses the same strategy to distract us from being mindfully present and staying on task. The ultimate task, according to the Ramchal, is reflecting on every step we want to take and every action we want to perform, and slow down and mindfully inquire, will this bring me closer to Hashem or distance me? He explains that the Yetzer Hara is very crafty and knows that if we would just take the time to think about our actions, we would immediately regret our misdeeds. To prevent this, the Yetzer Hara tricks us into making sure that we're always busy with all types of activities and distractions that seem important and pressing. So as the verse says, increase the workload upon the people, referring to physical menial labor from Pharaoh to keep us preoccupied and unable to think of how to resist the enslavement. In our self-talk and in our own lives, our inner paro keeps us busy, distracting and diverting us from our purposeful and meaningful life. Egypt was the first and primordial exile, representing all exiles the Jewish people would go through in history. You may recall that the word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, is a cognate of the word Meitzarim, which means constraints and limitations. Since the concept of Egypt is archetypal and metaphorical, it also refers to our inner and personal exiles from our own selves and our own loved ones, including Hashem. In our own lives, we are constrained by our inner pharaohs and taskmasters that enslave us with thought distortions, harsh, critical self-talk, unbecoming speech, and/or inappropriate behaviors. The avenues of thought, speech, and action, the garments of the soul, when used resourcefully, have the capacity to free us from our personal Egypts, our constraints and limitations. By slowing down to the speed of life, we are better able to be present and live authentically. We're not living through someone else's lens, nor our own self-imposed one. May we all be able to find our own purpose, have an exodus from our own limits, freeing ourselves to become our authentic selves.